Hello, everybody. It's a bank holiday here in the UK. I'm not sure if it's a bank holiday where you are. I'm not sure if you're working or not, or whatever you're doing. But today, I'm going to do that thing where it's a bank holiday. I'm having a bit of fun. I'm going to talk about anything that you want for 1 minute. I promise you, I can talk about any subject at all for 1 minute. And if I fail, you win a prize. Yeah, a prize! So all you have to do is, first of all, you've got to write a little comment. You've got to kind of ask me to talk about something. So the good news, I know I'm definitely going to get one because Ian's here. So he'll give me something I have to talk about for 1 minute. But I want you to fill up this comment stream. Things that you might want me to talk about for 1 minute, and I promise you, I'll be able to talk for 1 minute. Oh, here's something. Look, here's a classic. This one will try and catch me out. She won't, though. Jane's here. That's good news. I'm happy that Angie's here. So, the idea is very simple. I'm going to go through it one more time. You pick a subject for me to talk about, and I will talk about it for 1 minute. And if I'm unable to talk about it for 1 minute, then you win a prize. Yeah? Who's up for it? Who's up for it? Everybody's up for it. Just a small group at the moment, but this is one of those ones that tends to grow a little bit. It will grow. It definitely will. Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, the fact that I can talk about it doesn't mean I know anything about it. I'll just talk about it just to prove that I can. Not that I have actually got any proper knowledge. But it's usually quite entertaining. We'll find out. Okay, that's coming to an end there. Let's see what we've got so far. Right, so here we go. First subject I'm going to talk about for 1 minute is natterjack toads. So natterjack toads are reptiles. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. I've got to keep talking. Don't worry. I will make up for that time. That must have been on loop. Natterjack toads are reptiles. They are fun things. They're fun creatures. You know, natterjack toads, not a lot of people know this about natterjack toads, but it's one of those words, the more you say it, natterjack, the more it sounds like it's not a real word. Natterjack, natterjack, natterjack. But natterjack toads are about that big. Not the really big ones. They're not like those great big awful ones like that. They're about that big. And they have a strange thing at the side of their mouths where they smile slightly, especially if you tickle them under their chin. So if you should ever find a natterjack toad and just tickle a little bit under their nose, then what you'll find is that they start to smile. And of course, they're not reptiles, are they? No, they're amphibians. Everybody knows that. Of course they do. But the great thing about natterjack toads is that they are available in all good ponds and gardens throughout the UK. And that's 1 minute. I hope you enjoyed that, Jane. That was me talking about natterjack toads for 1 minute. Can you do better than that? Can you give me something to talk about for 1 minute? Let's see what Ian's come up with. You choose the complete works of Brian Tracy or why the next Write That Book Masterclass will be the best ever. Well, the next Write That Book Masterclass will be the best ever. We've got 109 people registered, I think, which is a great number. That's a super number. We've got a good mix of experienced people and a good mix of people who haven't had any experience at all, so they're going to help each other, which is going to be great. If you do want to join, you still can. WriteThatBook.co.uk. Doors closed at midnight last night, but I haven't switched the website off yet. So if you want to dive in and beat the door close, then go for it. So yes, it will undoubtedly be the best one ever. Plus, we've got some new people who are going to be joining us. We've got a new master, Sarah Cox. Sarah Cox, some of you know, who is the host of Between the Covers on BBC Two, and has also just written this book, Throne. She is going to be doing a special guest slot for us, which is very exciting. Plus, we've got a whole new thing about social media plans and a load of stuff. That's my 1 minute there. Now, let's do the 1 minute on the works of Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is an interesting character. I think the thing that's most interesting about Brian is that he took a couple of ideas a while ago and he absolutely exploited them and developed them. And I admire him for that. I really do admire him for that, because he's one of those people who will take something that was done by somebody else and they'll just reinvent it a little bit and out it goes. And why not? A lot of stuff's done like that. The bit where I do start to fall out with Brian Tracy and where I do think it's a little bit weird is that he's a person who has done incredibly, incredibly well. And you can pay Brian Tracy to endorse your book. So he doesn't endorse your book because he thinks it's a good book. He endorses your book because you've paid him to do it. Isn't that weird? Why would Brian Tracy want to do that? I wonder what's going on in his mind that would say he would want to, pay me and I will endorse the book. And he can't have read them all because he endorses loads of books. Anybody who will pay him. So that's not quite a minute. It's coming up to 1 minute now, talking about Brian Tracy. I've just seen the other one out of the corner of my eye. So I'm going to start and talk about this. Angie Vale. Talk about Commonwealth Games netball gold medal match in 2018. Well, what a game. What a game that was. Probably one of the legendary netball games, I think everyone would agree. And for those who didn't see it, I'll just kind of give you a quick summation of what happened. So basically, you had the netball players from both sides it's just like the gold medal match. So it's the big final. And everybody knew that this was going to be one of the most exciting matches, probably of all time. And I think the first thing everybody realized was that in the first couple of minutes, it wasn't going to be nice. It was going to be pretty aggressive, and it was going to be quite physical. A lot of people don't realize that about netball, but it can be quite physical. And this was probably the perfect example of a netball game that did turn out to be a little bit physical. But the good news is that at the end, the winners absolutely deserved it because they won. They won the gold. And the ones who came second, they won the silver. And, perhaps silver is great at the Commonwealth Games, but not quite as good as the gold winners. There we go, Angie. Hope you enjoyed that little chat about the Commonwealth Games netball gold medal match in 2018. So there's Tony saying, did somebody say netball? I'm staying around for this one. I hope you enjoyed my description there. That was good. So this is 1 minute on painting the fences, as I'm now doing. Well, painting fences is famous from a particular movie called The Karate Kid. And you may remember that Daniel, who was in The Karate Kid, he was the young boy. Mr. Miyagi said to him that in order to train him, he had to paint the fence. And he said the way to paint the fence was that you would go all the way down at the bottom, then you would use your wrist and then go all the way up to the top. And you would go all the way back down and then all the way back up again. And the message that he said was, Mr. Miyagi, can I not just learn how to do karate? And he went, paint the fence. Paint the fence. And he said, yeah, I know. But then he started to do wax on, wax off. Now, we're talking about painting fences, so I won't go into much detail about that. But the general idea was that you put the wax on, and you take the wax off. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence, paint the fence. And he did this for days. And he was a bit peed off with Mr. Miyagi. Do you remember that? But then when he got to the fight, and he was in the fight against the bad guy, he went, my foot under my desk is actually doing the crane. And he went, boom, and knocked out the bad guy. So painting fences is a joy, Steve. If you get your mind into it, don't cheat, though. Don't leave it. If you miss a little bit, you've got to get it because that's exactly where the water is going to run in. Right, here we go. Here's Diane. Oh, right, okay. So do you want me to talk about this? Walking another section of the Thames Path. Let's talk about the Thames Path for 1 minute. But I need some more by this. This is my last one. So if you do want me to talk about any subject at all for 1 minute, even if you've already had a go, give me something else. I can do it. I'm going to do this until 1:15, so you might as well. So the Thames Path is one of those walks. It's a famous walk. It's a little bit like Hadrian's Wall for a famous walk. 1 second. And the Thames Path is one of those things that people, when they've done it, they go, I walk the Thames Path. And I think it starts away up in Oxfordshire. And that you walk for a long, long way along the Thames Path. And the great thing is that because it's been one of those paths where they have decided to make it as a proper route, over time they've linked lots of other smaller walks together to create this longer Thames Path. And Diana, I hope that you're enjoying it. I wonder where you're up to right now. So Barnes Ridge to Richmond. I mean, Richmond's lovely, isn't it? Absolutely. And you're having a picnic and you're watching Magic Monday. Not many things are better than that. So can I talk about a freckle? I can talk about a freckle. So freckles are funny things, aren't they? Freckles are I think it's done with the pigment in your skin. So the pigment in your skin forms in a certain way, and it's a slightly different color. Now, if you have a ready colored hair and sort of more of a, I never want to say ginger because this is not quite right, but a sort of a more ready rustic hair, then you are more likely to have more freckles. And what's interesting is that when the sun comes out, you get more freckles. Now, I wonder why that should happen. I actually don't know why that happens, but I do know it's definitely a fact because I have seen people who are freckly, and when they go out in the sun, they get to have even more freckles. And so that's interesting, I would think. The thing is, freckles can be anywhere at all on your body, and no two people have exactly the same layout of freckles. So even if you get identical twins who are freckly, then their layout of freckles are different. Their layout of freckles. Some of the things this makes me say is just brilliant. Angie, I'll see you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for Team 17. Looking forward to it. Okay, so my next one. Hi, everyone. It's Matt here from a thunderstorm in the land of smiles. Do you want me to talk about thunderstorms for 1 minute? No, he hasn't asked me specifically, but Diane's loving what I'm talking about. Okay, so 1 minute about Angie Vale. Oh, this is easy. Okay, so Angie Vale is one of those people who I love because she's a bit feisty. She won't mind me saying that. She's not going to get pushed around. She's gonna go for it. She's gonna express her opinion. She's going to challenge the status quo. She's going to make sure that if she can make something better, she's going to make something better. She's been a member of Team 17 since day one and is a fantastic member of Team 17. She frequently will manage to tune in from the most unlikely places. So even if she's got a netball game, talk about netball earlier on, she'll suddenly find a way to kind of between games hop on and make sure that she's in one of our live sessions. And she's also one of our ambassadors for a program that we run called Hearts and Minds with the organization that she works for. And she was a brilliant ambassador because what you need from an ambassador is not just a person who is going to verbatim repeat the stuff that you talk about. They're going to add their own little bit of magic with it. And Angie absolutely did that. She added her own bit of magic into Hearts and Minds to make sure that everybody in her group not just got it, but they lived it and breathed it. And what a difference she made. There we go, Angie Vale. Excuse me, I've just got a little bit of a tickle in my throat. It's not an excuse. I've just got this best ever cup of tea here. You know when you get a cup of tea and it's really, really good and you just don't want it to get cold? Well, I'm just there at that point. There's Angie saying tomorrow night, it's a date, baby. See you at 6. Hey, it's going to be great. Well, I think that's it. I think we have had our 1 minute to talk about anything on a bank holiday Monday. This afternoon, I'm going out for a walk with my wife. Yesterday, we had a mega Sunday lunch. I had probably the best lamb I've ever tasted in my life. And my brilliant wife made it. It was off the scale, phenomenally good. And she also invented a brand new pudding. It was a brand new pudding that's never, ever been created before. And it was one of the most tasty, wonderful, incredible things of all time. Maybe another day I'll talk about the brand new pudding. But let me tell you, it was special. Okay, have a fantastic Monday, everybody. We will see you very, very soon. Whoops. There we go. We'll see you very, very soon. For those people who are members of Team 17, see you at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Yes, for those people who've joined by that book masterclass, we are onboarding all week. And next Monday, you have your first training session. Can't wait for that. It's going to be absolutely epic. Love to you all. Bye. Oh, remember to write watched if you watch this on a replay. That's always nice.